You can leave that. We are live. We are live. We are live. Today is a very special day, and we are here making sure that things are happening wherever you are, whatever is happening in your own environment, and everything else. Those ones that have been following us, we've been on this platform for 5 solid years, and we're still counting. It was 5 years in March, but we're still counting, and we're very, very proud of ourselves. Mondays were, full of energy with the red water. And for the last 2 months, we've had Ruth, and she's just taken two Mondays off. She is traveling and she is, managing a lot of things. She's still scheduled. Maybe she's already on the flight now, but we are saying we are here, and today is a very special day because someone brave, someone who is making things happen, said, I'm going to take up the Monday show, and we are very, very excited. And today's topic is busy but broke. Why hard work alone is no longer enough. Many people today are active, occupied, and always moving, yet they are not seeing corresponding growth in their productivity, finances, skills, or overall well-being. Just this morning, I woke up, I said, I was so encouraged by Kunda that I even started my morning swim. So I had my, 15 minutes early morning swim. So I'm feeling on top of the world because this is a big productivity event where someone is saying, I'm going to go to the deep end and I'll be able to manage and I'll be able to do the things that I want. This is what we need from young people. This is what we need from everyone, around us, from our homes to our workplaces. So if you're listening to me today, if you are paying for a child out there who is doing apprenticeship, who is doing internship, there is someone who is paying for that child to go to, for that young person to go and start their career, to get the experience. Listen to this call. And this is why today this conversation is very, very important. This morning, I want to intentionally give space to a young man I believe represents the lived realities many young people are facing today. Kunda was introduced to me by a director productivity at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Over the last 2 years, he has worked as an intern and has demonstrated discipline, commitment, and deep understanding of the challenges, discipline, the challenges surrounding productivity, career growth, and economic value. What impressed me most is not just his hard work, but his ability to think critically about growth, about direction, and intentional living. I believe he is the right person to help us unpack this conversation today because productivity is not just a theory. It must connect lived experiences of being busy but broke. Ladies and gentlemen watching us today, please help me welcome Kunda Chikatula. He is going to introduce himself on the things that he's been able to do and then take us through, the program. Over to you, Kunda.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sylvia Sunshine, for that wonderful introduction. It's really a privilege for me to be on this platform and get to share my experience with the listeners, with the world out there. So before we begin this session, I just want us to ask ourselves this one important question. If you stopped everything that you are doing right now, not tomorrow, not next week, but today for just 15 days, right? Would your life become different financially or will it still remain the same? I'm asking you this question because it is something that many people are avoiding to ask themselves. We are always doing something every day when we wake up. The first thing that most of us maybe do is go through the phone, scroll, 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 see what's happening around the world. Aside from that, we might think we're also doing other things that are very important to our growth, because young people nowadays, if you ask them straight from university, what are they doing? They're doing internships, they're volunteering, they're attending workshops, summits, you name it. Okay. We have something that we call also side hustles. Every day you're hustling, you are doing piecework, you're always moving, you're always occupied. But underneath all that movement, right, is there anything that is stable in terms of income? Are you owning a skill? Is there any measurable growth that you're getting from those movements? At the bottom of your heart, you know that in as much as I'm making these movements, there's no clear direction in what I'm doing. So today, we want to address those issues. We want to get to the core and actually have a strong and honest conversation about these things, because there are things that are affecting us, things that have affected me before. And I'm just privileged that I've come to realize to say I need to work in this side other than me going to being busy every day. And by the end of the month, I'm still broke. Okay, so like Dr. Sylvia had earlier introduced me, my name is Kunda Chikatula, and we're going to talk about this topic, which is why busy but broke, why hard work alone is no longer enough. All right, so let's just clarify one thing before we start, right? We always try to think if we are active, if we are moving, if you wake up today, you go and attend something, you think that's being productive. Okay. We have grown up in a setup in schools, in our homes, where parents and lecturers would tell us, you have to be productive. But what does it mean for you to being productive? Because this is the word that I feel most people just throw around, and many people don't actually know what it actually means. So for us who like mathematics, being productive has a formula. Productivity has a formula. From an economist point of view, productivity is the ratio of output to input. So it's about the output and the input, and your input can be your time. Your time is very important. It's an important resource as an input. We have the money. Your money is a resource. How you utilize it matters. We have your energy. Even your energy, just your energy is also important. It's an input that you need to take into consideration. All the things that you have to put to create your productivity is important. So, with that being said, you find that we have two people, right? Someone is spending 2 hours on a project, on an activity, and then there's another one who's spending 6 hours. But you find that that one who's spending less hours is generating maybe a 1,500 in 2 days or in a day. And then the other one who's spending more hours is probably generating maybe a 200. So on that space, on that picture, you can tell who's productive and who's not productive. So I just wanted us to have a picture of what productivity actually entails. So like I said, many people are confused, you get, especially young people are confused. We think movement is progress, but being busy is not automatically being productive. Okay. Productivity means measurable improvement. It means growth. It means value creation. What value are you creating? You're not just moving from one place to another, like, empty and everywhere you go. You're just everywhere, but there's no value creation. There's no intentional outcome. That's something that most of us young people get carried away with. We think moving from one point to another is going to to give us outcomes, the outcome that we don't even set, that we're not even intentional about. So the second thing that I want us to look at is understanding the economic value. What is the economic value that you're presenting to the market? Okay, so a simple but very important definition of economic value is your ability to solve problems people are willing to pay for. Because if you're solving something that people are not willing to pay for, then you're not creating any economic value. So you need to make sure that whatever you are doing every day when you wake up is something that is of economic value. We don't want to end up in a situation where we are always from moving from one place to another, but then there's nothing at the end of the day. We have nothing to show for. That's not the way that we want to go. So, um, you know, this I'm speaking this from experience. A long time ago, I thought if I wake up today, I do this, I get tired. Okay, I'm always occupied. For me, that was working. Okay, I thought if I'm doing that, that's working. I go home in the night, I feel tired, I want to sleep, then I become satisfied. Okay, I was doing something because I'm tired. But you have to make sure that you ask yourself, this what I'm doing, how useful is it to my long-term goals? Okay, am I gaining any competency from what I'm doing? Are these skills that I'm acquiring transferable? Because your effort does not improve. If your effort does not improve your income, does not improve your skills, your opportunities, then your activity, whatever you're doing, has low or no economic value. And emphasis on the economic value, like I said, you need to find problems that people are willing to pay for. If you are not doing that, then you're going in the wrong direction. Nowadays, it's a very competitive space that we're in, and if you are not careful, you might be left behind. Another thing that I want us to talk about is the comfort trap for us young people. Many of us remain too long in low growth environment because they feel safe. Okay, you are at a working place for 5 years, for 3 years, 2 years. You do not want to move because you feel safe. You have a title. Okay, maybe they've given you a title of an assistant, but how how is that going to help you in the long term? Okay, you get an allowance maybe once in a while. It's the same routine. You go for work, you do this, you push the files, you do that, you do that. That feels safe. Okay, it's a place that you want to go every day. There's very good coffee from there, from that space. But you need to ask yourself, are your skills growing? Is your income growing? Okay, is your independence growing? Because safety without growth is just delay. Okay, and over time people start confusing being occupied with moving forward. These are two different things and have different meanings. So we need to be intentional in that space. And for the core of this session, one thing that I want us to stress on is on hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, hard work alone is not enough. Okay? We have seen a lot of people that are hardworking, but come tomorrow, come the other day, there's nothing that is happening. I'm not saying hard work is not important. Hard work is very, very, very important, but hard work without direction can still leave you stuck. Like the example that I gave earlier, you find that two people who are equally hardworking but end up in completely different landscape in terms of financial. Why? Because income is not determined by how much effort you put in alone. It has a lot of factors. We can talk about how valuable is the skill that you're providing. What is your positioning? How productive are you? And of late, productivity has become very, very important in institutions. They want things to move fast. They want things to be done efficiently. There's no time wasting. So if you're not productive, you completely get flashed out. Okay, are you able to adapt? We are living in an environment that is constantly changing every time, every day. So are you able to adapt to the new technology? Are you able to embrace things that are coming up? Okay, how relevant are you to the market? Because I feel like most people think if you just present yourself to the market, someone somewhere, it's going to be by God's, yes, God's grace is there, but you have to make sure that you are relevant to the market. You don't have to leave it to chance. That's something that I want us to reflect on. Another thing is also in terms of the skills that I haven't really talked about it, but in terms of the skills, you need to identify one monetizable skill, okay, that can transform your life. There are a lot of institutions and, for example, even Google offers a lot of courses out there for free, which you can learn and execute and make sure that you have income by the end of the day. It doesn't mean you have to be all over the place. You try to study this, you decide to study this, but you can just identify just that one skill, sharpen it, and then you see how it goes. You make sure that you put in your all effort in trying to make sure that it brings you something. Okay, we have sales, we have digital marketing, we have all sorts of these things, these digital skills. It's something that can be acquired anytime, any day, because the internet nowadays is very much accessible, and you can actually get to make sure that you acquire those skills. So what I want to tell you is that, like I said, the goal is not to know everything. The goal is to become valuable in something. Make sure you identify one thing that can make you valuable. So just to close, before Dr. Sunshine can come in, I want us, before I leave, to go with one or two of the questions. Okay, you need to ask yourself every day when you're doing something, will this activity make me more valuable in 2 to 3 years from now? Is this activity building my future? Am I growing or simply remaining comfortable? Why am I saying this? Why am I asking these questions? Because many people nowadays, many young people, we are not lazy. We are just trapped in systems that reward activity more than growth. And to me, that is very, very, very dangerous, because activity without growth eventually becomes self-deception. We'll be lying to ourselves for years and years and thinking that we are moving towards our desired goals, but meanwhile, we're just lying to ourselves. So I just want to thank Dr. Sunshine Sylvia for this opportunity that she's given me to be on this platform to talk to people about my experience and what I've gained so far in my journey, which has been a very beautiful journey. So, Dr. Sunshine Sylvia, thank you for this opportunity, and looking forward to many other sessions like this. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I was here just clapping and saying, yes, yes, yes. And I'm telling you, if we can have many young people like you, I think productivity will have a very big meaning. And I'm saying this because I'm productivity ambassador, a national productivity ambassador, and these are the things that I myself must learn to impact or to empower young people so that they can be productive. And if you are a parent out there, you are a young person out there who is, being great about the things that you think you're doing that are great, but you are broke, this is the time to join Kunda. Kunda is going to prepare a class for everyone who is an intern and want to make things happen, to come through and just we start the process, because you need to shift the way you think, the way you've been thinking all this time. You need to shift and make sure that you are now shifting to that thing where today I'm going to do this. What is the value that I'm creating when I do this? Am I creating this value, and who's going to pay for it? Because the moment you create value, someone is looking. The day you create value, there's someone who is looking out for you. There's someone who is saying, oh, this young man, oh, this young man. And that's how you get the referral. That's how, even when you're in a meeting, they say, okay, come and help us in the meeting, because they know you are creating value. If Kunda was not creating value, he would not be sitting in the chair that he's sitting in today. So this is what my call for you young people out there. Whatever you're doing, just ask yourself, type in the chat box, I am going to create value. I am creating value. That value is going to be seen, and the value that you're creating is going to come in your pocket. You start a good life, you start managing yourself, you start thinking, oh, if I have to, say, for example, I have to get married, if I have to leave and go and stay in another place, it means I must stay, I must afford to pay rent, I must afford to buy food, I must afford to take care of myself, I must be able to go to work on time. And you start realizing that actually your time can be measured. This is what we do at the SPM Consulting and SPM Training and Consulting Institute. We just make people do the things they want to do on a daily basis. When you wake up, what are your 4 imperative things? When you wake up, what are your 4 imperative action steps that you're going to do? When you wake up, what are your 6 important action steps that you're going to do? These are the things that you've planned. That if you haven't done those things that you've planned to do, you just shift them to another day. And this is where people miss it. They think if they haven't done something today, it means that's the end of the day. So this is a platform which makes you intentional living, which makes you have that inner self saying you are enough, you can do this, you can produce, you can. It just tells you you've got such big noise behind your brain that is taking you, telling you you are enough, you are capable, you can be more productive, you can be happier. If you do imperative action steps, important action steps, you know who you are going to connect with to go and do that thing that you are going to be doing. And this is what makes the difference. A lot of people know what to do, but then they don't even know who they're going to do that work with. Same with organizations. You are busy, you have done the strategy, but you're not communicating to anyone. Communication is the key for you to actually start to do things that you want to do. So this platform is for you. This platform is for anyone who is looking for success. And it just doesn't end there. Now you come to your time. When are you going to do? What time are you going to do the imperative action steps? You will input in the time. And if you've got spaces in that time when you're going to be doing the imperative action steps, then you can put in the important things. The important things. At lunchtime, you're putting in the important things for your family and home, for your social and career, for everything. Because the first 8 hours is for things that you're creating value on, like the economist would say. Kunda is an economist by profession. So what is it that you are going to do in this space of time that produces value, that at the end of the month, at the end of the 30 days that you have put in value, you are going to receive value? If you cannot measure the value that you are creating, just know that there will be no pay for you. And especially for us people who are depending on someone creating value, then someone comes to sit in the chair, then someone pays to be impacted, and at the end of the day, you create the value that everyone now shares according to the agreement you share. Because salaries, we are sharing the things, the value that we have created. If there's no value being created, just know that it's your company's days are numbered. So get people who are happy to serve and get people who are creating value. And at the end of the day, do a feedback to yourself. What did I do for the day? And record it. Because those are the things that you will say after 30 days. Even if money didn't come, but you can see that you were productive. And that's how people get paid, whether the company has made money or not. It is that value that they have created for the institution. Because one day money will come. So every day you keep on doing different things that make you stay online. That is going to make you create the value. So in thanking Kunda for this practical and honest presentation, one thing I want everyone to remember this morning is that many people are not failing because they are lazy. They are failing because they are busy without structure, movement without direction, and activity without measurable productivity. And this is why the mindset change process is so important for each one of us that actually wake up every day. We have to make sure that we are productive. And this is the financial and career spoke of the wheel of life, which teaches us that true growth requires intentional action, measurable outcomes. You heard Kunda talking about the measurable outcomes, productivity systems put in place. You have to be accountable. So accountability is number one, which actually creates your personal productivity and consistent reflection of what you're doing and how you're doing it so that we are big at whatever it is that we're doing. So at SBM Training and Consulting Institute, we teach individuals to identify their daily imperative action steps, their important action steps, who they will need to engage for that work that they have put in, that value that they've created, who is it? And I just want to reemphasize this, I've talked about them already. When action must happen is those timings. And it is so straightforward. Like even today, I know what I'm going to do today. I know the things that I'm going to do by the end of the day. I know already, I have listed them down. Already I've done my devotion, I've done my swimming. I need to actually find out, I was doing some interview yesterday. I need to find out if she's ready. I need to check on my grandchildren came to visit, so I need to check on them. How are they doing today? Did they cry for me? And so I can, fulfill my family and home spoke of the wheel of life, because I just enjoyed being with them. I had 6 of them this weekend. So I want to see, did they take any picture? Did anyone take pictures so that I can, relate and make sure that this is what it is? One of my, my grandchildren, it was his birthday on Saturday, so they just came to just wish. So these, and I took time. At 8 hours, what am I going to do? At 9 hours, what am I going to do? At this, what? So this is exactly, we actually live what we are saying. We are living a life of our dreams. Whatever we dreamed of, we're ticking. And that's what it's called, you tick your box. Not you tick boxes just because something has happened. No. Are you living your dreams? Are you happy? Are you happier? Because every day things happen. Sometimes you're not even as happy as you want to be. So this is what it is. So when action must happen, and what outcomes were achieved before retiring for the day. So this is exactly what productivity is all about. Productivity is productivity in real sense. It is not noise. It's not endless activity like what Kunda was talking about, but measurable growth and value creation. So as you leave this session today, ask yourself, what skill am I building? What value do I create? Am I growing or merely staying, occupied? A lot of people are occupied. If I continue this same path for the next 3 years, where will I really end up? And this is why we say all these things that we're talking about, they are possible. Mindset change is possible. So it's a minute to go. Thank you everyone for joining the Free Mentorship Academy on Monday. Join us again. Tomorrow is my day. I'm looking for someone to make sure that this day is productive. So I wish you to stay organized, happier, and more productive. Kunda, you can say goodbye to the audience.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sunshine. To everyone that's watching, everyone that's listening, I hope you've learned something new or something that's going to help you in being intentional about how you are living your life and how to not throw your or waste your time. So we'll continue having these sessions, and we hope that you'll be with us on this transformative journey. So thank you for everyone, to everyone, and God bless you.
God bless you, everyone.